'Cause I could use a hand sometimes. Yeah, I could use a hand sometimes. They say pain is an illusion. This is just a bruise and you are just confused, but I am only human. I could use a hand sometimes. I am only human.
I watched her go, and I'll be damned, she just slipped through my fingers like butter. Instantly, I developed a dislike for that name. But what was even more amazing was the fact that I wanted to go after her and pull her down in my lap while I nibbled at her neck as she told me all about herself. What the? Nah. I shook my head. At this moment, I didn't even recognize myself. I rubbed my hands down my face as I snapped out of the sapping, flower-smelling haze that had fallen on me. Like I needed the distraction of a woman right now, especially a young woman with trouble written all over her beautiful face. I thought about the last woman I had that get close to me, and how close I had come to putting my hands around her neck and snapping it like a pencil. And my blood ran cold. If ever there was a poster board on why a man should never fall for one of these treacherous women, Delilah could definitely be the model for it. Anger bubbled up in me as I thought of Delilah, and I wanted to take her head and smash it into the wall like I did her brothers. The coward, the punk. Anger was still my biggest weakness, and it seemed that no matter how much I prayed and fasted, it was still there. My constant companion. Abiyah, please help me. Visions of ripping Delilah apart, as well as her brothers, swam in my head. Every muscle in my body screamed for me to walk through that door and do what I should have done when I first was released from prison. Kill. Hey boss, won't you step in the ring with me? And let me show these young ox here how to slay a lion. Aharon yelled from the ring. Oh yeah? Is that what you want to attempt to do? Man, I loved my ox. He was always on time. He was one of the few people that knew of my demons, and he knew just how to help me work through them, which is why he was my second in command and my best friend, as well as my brother. Todayah, I gave up that silent thanks as I made my way towards the ring. I'm afraid at how close my spirit had come to losing the battle with my flesh, and all because that little warrior woman forced me to think about things I needed to stay buried. Yeah, come on in here and get some. Aharon yelled. See, he was one of the bigger ox in my crew, and a very good fighter. He and I have been slaying demons since before we knew what we was doing. He was with me back in the days when I was just laying punks down for looking at me the wrong way. We got locked up together, served our time together. We also found Yah together. If I had a blood brother, he wouldn't be more of an ox to me than the big ox, and that's real. But we both knew and understood the risk he was taking, stepping in the ring with me with my anger unstable as it was. And yet he was doing it. But that was Big Ock for you. His loyalty was unquestionable. I cracked my neck, stretching it out as I began to shake my arms and legs to loosen them out. Anger still a very real, living thing moving inside me. I owed the Big Ock for this because I really needed it. Yeah, boss. You just need to work out a little frustration, he said, giving me the look to let me know he knew I was going through a thing. But remember, we don't want to kill our Haram, he said jokingly. The youths around the ring erupted in laughter, but he and I both knew just how serious he was. Relax, I'll take my own life before I take the life of my brother, and that was real. Hallelujah for that much control. Aharon visibly relaxed. Good, man. That's real good to hear, he smiled as he flexed his big shoulders, preparing himself for the battle ahead. However, you did invite me into this ring, I can't say that you won't wish you was dead when I finish with you." His smile evaporated as his eyes grew large. "Oh, man," he began, but that was the last word he said before my knee connected with his chin. I laughed as I made my way to the building across the street from the gym. I felt like I had just gotten off a small boat that had rode out a fierce storm, or better yet, I felt like a person who had just walked through a lion's den and come out alive. Whew! The feeling was exhilarating. I reached up and I pulled the scrunchies out of my hair, releasing my hair, 'cause heck yeah, I felt wild, I felt alive. With ease, I hopped the gate to the apartment building across the street. Without making a sound, I made my way up the back steps until I had reached the 3rd floor. Carefully, I stood on the rail, grabbing onto the roof before pulling myself up. This was the perfect spot to study my newest victim. Ha! Who was I kidding? That man would never be anybody's victim. He just wasn't the type. If I pulled this off, this would definitely be my greatest accomplishment. And I do mean if. I propped myself up on the ledge, getting comfortable. I was going to be here for a while. If I was going to go in there tomorrow night after the fight, I needed to see how he closed down the gym. Good thing I brought my book, and I still had a handy dandy apple. I settled back, careful to keep my balance centered so that I did not fall off the roof. I love challenging myself this way. I wanted to see how many hours I could sit here on this ledge and keep my balance. 8 hours later, I watched Lyon leave the building with a man just as big as he was on his right and a huge lion on his left. That beast had to be about 300 pounds. Together, they approached a black Suburban, where Lyon walked to the back of it and opened the trunk, and his pet easily leaped inside. But the pet was so heavy, the lion was so heavy that it caused the Suburban to dip down on his tires. Oh my goodness, it's amazing he's able to be in a hood with such an animal. I stood up and stretched my stiff limbs as I thought about some things I had seen that appeared a little strange to me. First off, and this is going to sound strange to you too, but there is definitely something going on with that building across the street. I saw several things that just didn't make any sense. People came in and out of the gym all day, but some people, when they touched the doors, seemed to pull their hand back as if they had been burned. For example, at around 5:30, a man dressed in a gray jumpsuit walked up to the door. He carried a black gym bag in one hand and what looked like a sports muscle drink in the other. Just your normal gym-looking guy, right? However, he walked to the door and he tried to open it. And I'm pretty sure, with the way that he pulled his hand back, that he had been burned pretty good. But then, directly after he walked away clutching at his hand, a group of kids walked up and opened the door and went in with no problems. Strange, right? Yeah, that's what I thought too. But then it got stranger. Maybe around 40 minutes later, after that, 2 men approached the building. One of the men opened the door and they both went in. But not 5 seconds later, the man that hadn't touched the door came stumbling back out of the door where he had proceeded to throw up everything he had in his stomach. This phenomenon continued to happen for the rest of the evening. Now, like I said at the beginning of my story, I am a pretty smart cookie. However, I wasn't feeling too smart right now. I stood on the roof, contemplating the reality of the building, accepting or rejecting people. Here, Dollar Bill wanted me to go into a building that accepted or rejected people and steal a magic staff that he claims once belonged to Moses. I think I was losing it. It was official. Now more than any time in my life, I wanted my mama. I needed to talk to Lovely so she could make some sense of this whole situation for me. As I climbed off the roof, I slowly made my way downstairs. I experienced a strong sense of loneliness. I had never felt this lonely before. Could Lovely be dead? Is that why suddenly I felt all alone in this great big old scary world where famous pimps stole magic staffs that once belonged to Moses from famous gangsters that had a building that accepted or rejected people? After checking the back of the gym where I was going to make my entry and my exit, I caught the bus home and I climbed into my bed with all my clothes on and my boots. The last thought before I drifted to sleep was that I would surely die from the pain I felt in my heart at the thought of my mother being dead. The ringing of the phone jerked me up sometimes later from my sleep. I looked at the clock and saw that it was 3:33 in the morning, and a chill went down my spine. I scrambled out of the bed to get to the phone. "Hello," I cried, praying it was Lovely's voice. Hey, Butta. Not Lovely's voice. It was the devil. Why was the devil calling me at this time? Dollar Bill? He chuckled, but it sounded weird. Were you expecting Lovely? His voice was creeping me out. It was his voice, but it wasn't. Suddenly, it was just all too much. The magnificent man in the gym, the magic staff that belonged to Moses, the building that accepted or rejected people, the phone call at 3:33 in the morning, and finally Dollar Bill's creeping voice. "Where is my mother?" I screamed in the phone. I know he knew where she was. He always knew where she was. "Please, Dollar Bill, I need her." Butta, you begged so deliciously. What? I hated that I begged him, but I was desperate. "I need my mother, Dollar Bill." There, beautiful. You are a big girl now. You don't need to hide behind Lovely anymore. You have so much more than anything she is capable of offering. What are you talking about? She's my mother. She's your anchor, he yelled back. And I could have sworn his voice was making clicking noises, like it was clicking or something. "What have you done to her? Tell me." "Now, Butta, didn't I tell you to call me when you finished gathering the information you needed?" "Yeah, but I got back late and I was tired, so I just went to sleep." I didn't want to talk about this. I wanted to know where my mother was. "Tell me, my dear, were you able to walk through the door?" he asked, and my heart stopped beating. "Yeah, I was, but what does that mean? Some people couldn't get in. What's going on with that place?" "Ah, my pure little beauty." His voice did that clicking thing again, and I just wanted to hang up on him. It was really freaking me out. He sounded real strange. "Okay, Dollar Bill, I'm gonna get with your staff. I'm gonna get what you want, and then you give me back Lovely, okay? Is that the deal?" "That's the deal, my beauty." And then I hung up on him. I couldn't take no more. And what was with all of my beauties? Ugh! I shivered as I made my way back to bed. It was something real strange going on. And tomorrow I was going to go get in and get out. Then I was going to get Lovely, and we was going to get on the first Greyhound out of Chicago. That was a promise. The next morning, I lay in the bed to noon because I couldn't shake the feeling that my life was getting ready to change. The scary part was not knowing how. Like, was my life going to change with death or jail? Was it Lovely's death? I didn't want to get out of the bed. I just wanted to crawl under my cover and pretend I had a choice on whether or not I needed to do this or not. One thing did become clear to me this morning. The way Lovely raised me, it wasn't good. And maybe today I was going to pay for all the people I had stolen from and scammed. Today felt like it was my day of reckoning. And maybe Lovely was in the situation she was in because of all the wrong she had done. But even if that was the case, I couldn't just lay here and not try to help my mother. And if stealing that staff would do it, then I had to do the right thing, right? This is Lovely. I couldn't just leave her hanging. Who knows what that psycho was doing to her? I dressed very carefully. The goal was to be invisible. So I put on my black cargo pants with a black tank top and my black Timbs. I know you think I'm overdoing it with the black, but I read a book once where it was statistically proven that people paid less attention to people that was all dressed in black. I put my hair back into a ponytail and I stuffed it all under this White Sox hat I had. And before I left the house, I did something that I rarely did. I prayed. When I was a little girl, I asked Lovely why we didn't pray over our food. She shrugged. I don't know, Butta Baby. I guess I just never thought about it, she said. And then she got up and headed for the door. Wait, I cried after her. That couldn't be it. What, Butta? My ride is downstairs waiting for me, she said. Tell me what to pray. Tell me what to say, how to bless my food, I asked her. Say, she thought about it. Say, remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. Amen. Then she turned and was gone. Remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. Amen. I repeated it, trying to feel how it rolled off my tongue. And it worked. So ever since that day, I have been saying that prayer before I eat. But I had no clue what to say now. When I'm a thief, that was probably getting ready to be punished for my sins. With a missing mother, that was probably getting punished for her sins. On my way to rob a dangerous man. And what? What should I say then? Like, can I ask God to keep me safe while I'm sinning? Nah, I'm pretty sure I couldn't do that. But everything in me felt the need to pray. So I just went with what I knew. Remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. Amen. And then I headed out the door to try to save my life and my mother's.